I'm familiar with questions. I hardly know where to start. But I'm going to start with the carbon tax issue. I was reading that China is not saying that their pollution problems are all our fault because we buy their stuff. And they have a tremendous pollution problem.
Yes, they do.
Are we going to be in a position their pollution on the stuff they import? Is that
Your question is a good question. Well, we also, first of all, I believe the United States ought to be back. In fact, I will organize a summit on the environment. We walked away from the table with Kyoto back 6 years ago, and it was a source of great embarrassment. Not that you necessarily want to agree with everything that's going to be done. The idea of the United States would walk away at a moment like that to me was shameful. And so as the American president, I will organize a meeting, a global meeting on these issues, and those very questions are going to be important. China faces some unique sets of situations. They got 25 million people every year that move from rural China to urban China, creating tremendous pressures in their country. But clearly they've got to, if they're going to accept the position of the World Trade Organization, if they're going to want to be a responsible player in the global debates, then they're going to have to continue to act like it, in my view. And certainly we can provide help here. This is the kind of thing we ought to be doing. I suspect, in fact I know, that the Chinese as well would be likely to develop technologies. In fact, many of their buildings are going green far faster than we are in many cases here. They're moving much more aggressively because it's a health issue for them, a massive health issue. But why not form those consortiums? Why isn't the United States leading and asking the Chinese and others with bright, talented people to come together to advance the technologies that would eliminate the dependence on these polluting technologies and fuels that cause so much problem? That's what we ought to be doing in the 21st century. Instead of screaming at each other about what you can and cannot produce and sell, why not roll up our sleeves and build the kind of consortiums that would allow that bright, intelligent community to come together to come up with some darn good answers? When you look at a guy like Hugo Chavez in Latin America, why is he powerful? Well, he's a clever politician. But he's also got one asset that all these other little countries need. It's called oil. And he sits there basically, when you're selling gasoline at 7 cents a gallon, in Caracas as they are here, and you can basically give it away to small island countries, it's no wonder he gets their votes at the OES and the United Nations. How are we losing a public relations battle with Hugo Chavez? Because we can't come up with better ideas than he can when it comes to providing ideas to allow these countries to develop their own technologies and develop their own wealth as a result of sharing with them the kind of ideas that reduce pollution and also give the independence they ought to have. That's what the United States ought to be doing. You're right, we consume 25% of the fossil fuels with 4% of the world's population. That's disgraceful. But we ought to lead by inviting countries to be a part of these collective answers.
Absolutely.
Okay.